I'm supposed to be asleep right now. Lucky for y'all. Lucky for y'all. Lucky for y'all. This is like my Friday night, so I can stay up and be a salty bitch on the internet. You're welcome. Alright. Before I say shit, I will say this. I know how many Sarah J. Maas stands it out there. I'm entitled to my opinion. Come for me if you want to. I'm ready for you now. It is Tuesday, May 1st, 10:33 in the a.m. I just finished A Court of Frost and Starlight. What the court? Fucking whatever. I just finished it. I'm trying to decide what order I want to go in because there is a reason I have avoided directly reviewing any ACOWTF whatever the fuck on the internet. And that's because I know her fans are fucking crazy. Like, this bitch is the Beyonce of the book world. Because her fans, girl, Beyonce fans will fucking cut a bitch, and Sarah J. Maas fans are the same way. But I'm ready, damn it. Because I cannot keep quiet no longer. This is happening. Bitch, I got notes. Things I liked about the book. You know what? Let's just, as a whole. The length of this book is weird. It's like 270 some odd pages or something like that. It's somewhere between novella and why the fuck did you write this? I deserve to be this upset and frustrated because she fucking told me and I didn't listen. Sarah J. Maas said that when she wrote the book, it's basically an interlude. I did not expect that description to be so fucking literal. It is literally an interlude. Like, this was a weird random commercial break. Like, this is when you watch Supernatural and then it's that one weird episode where Sam and Dean are trapped in a television and then you just keep seeing Sam is in like a fucking gonorrhea or chlamydia commercial and you're like, was that necessary for shit? It also kind of feels like she put in like whatever didn't get unanswered from books 1 through 3, or not really 1, from books 2 and 3. She's like, alright, I'm gonna put them all in here. So basically the book reads like an explanation / an interlude. Get that out of the way. Formatting of the book. The book starts in the point of view we're familiar with. It starts in Feyre's point of view, first person point of view. Then it switches to Rhys's first person point of view. When you open the book, it has all the names listed as chapter title. So you're like, oh, okay, we get point of views from everybody. Cool. That's what's up. I get to get in all the heads. Alright, cool. I was actually a little excited. Then you open the book, we're getting Feyre's, we're getting Rhys's, and the first time we're in his head, it's just completely fucking juvenile. It's completely juvenile because he's talking to Cassie, and the first time we see him, because he's away from Feyre. And it just, they sound like two bros. To be like 500 fucking years old, it's weird because from Feyre's point of view is a lot more elegant and less childish than his is. The first view of his point of view we get is just like basic and it's weird and it's not what I expected and I don't like it. So there was that. Then we go to Cass, which is in third person, and we get Moore, who's in third person. So it's like half first person point of view for 2 characters, and then for all the other characters it's third person, and that is so fucking irritating, especially because Rhys's first point of view the first time was so just, it came across as so juvenile. I was like, what the hell? Like, it was like, to try to get into like a male headspace is like basically she just threw in a lot of like shits and assholes and bastards and dams, and that's fine, but it's like the way she used them, like it was like in a juvenile sit, like it was an 18-year-old character instead of a 500-plus-year-old character. So that was annoying as hell. And the switch from first person to third person was annoying as hell because when we got to third person, the writing got a little bit more descriptive and a little bit more elegant, and Feyre's was a little bit more descriptive and a little more elegant. The first time we came across Rhys's, it was just basic and it was weird and I didn't like it because Rhys is my favorite character from the series. That out of the way. Next, the first chapter from Feyre's point of view, like the first couple pages, I was already fucking rolling my eyes because she just kept going, this time last year I was this, and this time that last year I was, we get it. You were in spring court last year. I don't need you to say it 72 times in 13 consecutive paragraphs. Capable? I get it. I get it. Thank you. I got it. I promise. I swear I do. Then there was also the, like, she referred to herself as High Lady so fucking much. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, in the first part, she just constantly refer. Well, because as High Lady, I have to do this. And as High Lady, I have to do that. And so then there was an episode, this is still in the first chapter, where she was kind of like having her moments as Feyre does. It was like her like PTSD issues and whatever, which I really actually liked in A Court of Mist and Fury. That was what I loved about it, is that so many authors, like, if they even get to the point or write the point after the war, after the battle, after the trauma, it's like the character just magically gets over it like very quickly with like minimal damage. And Feyre actually had like legitimate like reactions that sometimes a traumatized person will have, and I love that. However, she's getting to be like Darrow from Red Rising, where she applies that shit all over the place with every little thing, like just breaks her poor little heart. And I'm like, bitch, where is yo chill? Stop. So what I mean by that, she thought about Striga, who's like the Weaver woman who was basically gonna eat her the first time she interacted with her. And when she thought of her and thought of her dying, she like had this moment of like mourning and utter distress. And I'm just like, for the monster? Really? The one that was gonna eat you? You sad now? Okay. There's like that romanticizing of monsters and a monstrous behavior that we kind of saw with the Surrey. Excuse me. And with like the fairy wine roofing that happened in A Court of Mist and Fury that everybody just fucking grazes over. Like, he did it to protect her. Bitch, he drugged you and touched you. It doesn't fucking matter if it was in appropriate places. He fucking drugged you on purpose. It is what it is. I love me some Reese, but that was shady. That was shiesty. It was wrong. So there's that just like putting a positive spin on things that are not supposed to be positive in order to like make her seem really good. Instead, it just makes you seem TSTL. You too stupid to live. So that's my opinion on that. Another thing that bugged me is like the random fucking modernization of shit. Now, I have been dying to let loose about this shit from fucking ACOWTF. It drove me fucking crazy. So where we had like basically this whole fucking setting where beforehand Feyre is in carriages and fucking leather Birkins and gherkin, what the fuck ever this shit's called, like tunics and whatever, and then we get to the night court and she's still in like these like time period. I don't know what time period, but they're not modern clothes. The descriptions are not modern. And then by the time we get to chapter 55, like we go from she was shitting in the woods to now she's wearing fucking leggings and a sweater and heating up soup on the stove. And I'm like, I swear to Christ, she was just shitting in the woods like 2 chapters ago. So this book had more of the same. I really tried to ignore like the townhouse thing from the last couple, but like that just drove me crazy. First of all, because we go from like that is such a modern thing, is to have like an abode and it's called like a townhome in this Fey world that had, if the Fey world had been modern anyway, but the Fey world is in this like almost historical setting and now they got townhomes. But I ignored it. I didn't even bring it up in all my bitching to all of my friends about ACOWTF. I left the townhome thing alone. I think I could be lying. Don't fact check me on that. But that's not only the other thing. Then she came out her face at one point and said, perhaps my solstice gift to myself should be to hire a secretary. A secretary? Bitch. That's not it. Then there were grants and funding for charity. Grants. Not just charities, but grants. Grants for funding for things. That fits the setting beautifully. It really does. Then there were terms they used that were modern, like at the intersection, like where things are in town. What happened to Crossroads? Now we get intersections, we don't get Crossroads no more? That was weird. Okay, I might be picking, whatever. But then there's also things like saying somebody was bankrolling something. And then somebody was working on jigsaw puzzles. Like, what? Ugh. Then we get to Reese and his, like... For those of you who are unaware, this fandom has some of the most perverted fucking fans. Like, I read smut with the best of them. However, I do not draw it and put it on the interwebs for everybody to see. Especially when I was under 20. That's all I'm going to say on that. But the stuff that was in this one already in chapter 2, I was like, ooh, I see the fuckery and the fan art just already. I just see it coming. I'm not going to tell you what the scene specifically was, but when you read the book and you see what he was talking about, he wasn't even interacting with her. It was a thing he was reminiscing on. You gonna see what I'm talking about. You gonna see, and a lot of y'all gonna go, oh, that's hot. And I'm just like, the fandom is about to go fucking wild. Oh my god. Romantic as fuck. And that was sarcastic. It basically, what it alluded to is that though Reese is 500 years old, he is still basically a 16-year-old male. Like, no control whatsoever, to the point to where it just made him, like, angry and ornery to where he's about to lose control and that lose, like, bits of his, like, legendary control. because he's horny. Like, you 500 plus years old, you can't wait. Okay. Oh, okay. Alright. I also think, like, the switching from the first person to the third person, it just came off as lazy. Like, I don't necessarily know how I want to put in the effort to properly, like, develop this character separately. So when I get to these characters, I haven't really been in their heads yet in the book. I might just jump back to third person because it's just writing basically how Fader saw them. So I don't have to do nothing different. It's just fucking irritating. Then there was this thing in the set, you know, like, back to, like, the charities thing, and it just seemed inconsistent to me, because, like, at one point, post-war, Feyre's, like, handing out, basically, winter coats and firewood and shit like that. So you have built this world, and built up these characters to damn near be all-powerful. They're supposed to have all these powers and stuff, and they can use their magic to create this house that heats up bathwater for them and shit, and etc., referring to the cabin that Feyre drew her stick figures and people and shit all over. That was rude, but we ain't gonna talk about that. You can do that, but it's, per you, gonna take years to rebuild some of the homes that were destroyed. Like, it don't even matter if you can't, I'm not even saying snap them into existence. Like, you have Phaelites and shit, but everybody's fucking freezing. You can't use your powers to create fire, heating, levitate the fucking building stuff elsewhere. No, people are doing shit by hand, and I'm like, but why? But you're using your magic to paint and do other shit. But to build these houses, though, we're gonna stop. And not even explanation, like, maybe your magic just don't work for that. There's nothing. You have all this magic that you use for everything else, but when it comes to, like, doing shit that's necessary to rebuild Valeris post-war, you basically got Feyre volunteering at the soup kitchen, is what it is. I'm like, especially when you previously in this book too, and several others have said, and others have said that Rhys needs to, like, offload his power constantly or he'll get overloaded. You build a house, bitch. Also, in addition to referring to herself as a high lady a fucking lot, she compares everything, like, to, I know it's the Night Court. Every description that came out of this bitch's mouth was darkness and starlight and night sky, and I get it. It that went through the whole 300 pages, my boo. Like, what? She's so caught up on research, she don't know what this bitch so sprung, she cannot fucking function. Everything is night sky and darkness and just. Speaking of descriptions and fuckery, utter abuse, utter fucking abuse, with just complete abandon, abuse of the word Illyrian, just like straight up yellow card, bitch, flag on the play, inappropriate, foul. All the descriptions of the people were his Illyrian this. I wrote down the different examples each time I came across it. His Illyrian leathers. Every time they talked about their clothes, it was not his leathers, his battle armor, his Illyrian leathers. Every single time. And it was several times. We get it from the last two books. They're Illyrian, they wear Illyrian leathers. We get it. You don't need to keep making that differentiation. I got it. His Illyrian weapons. You Illyrian baby. Those Illyrian babies. His Illyrian markings. His Illyrian tattoos. His Illyrian mother. My Illyrian blade. Pure Illyrian arrogance. That's like a black person going, my black cornrows. Like, I know that's a black thing. You don't need to, like, spell it out as your Negro thing every time you do it. Just, like, an African person or an Ethiopian person doesn't go, my Ethiopian food, my Ethiopian headdress, my Ethiopian, especially around other Ethiopian people, because then it's just fucking weird. It wasn't just a thing Feyre thought, but it was a thing when it was just Rhys and Cass and Azriel. It was just them, and they'd be like, my Illyrian fighting leathers. I'm like, chill, bro. I got it. You don't gotta, like, describe yourself. Everything. And it was so much, just complete abuse of the fucking word. Just complete. You basically made this character, and then in making this, like, ethnicity for him, you have then stereotyped him by saying everything that he does is purely because of this race. Like, it's just, he is a stereotype of being this. It's like, if he would have been Chinese, it'd be like, his Mandarin this, his Mandarin that, his Cantonese this, his Chinese this. Do you gotta say that every time? We are well aware that he's Illyrian, boo-boo. We are well aware. Oh, we got it. So my camera died, and while I've been waiting for it to charge, I've been drinking more whiskey. And then I filmed another section in my car, decided that it was going to be corrupted, so I've been drinking more whiskey. Now I'm a little buzzed. You're welcome. Another thing that irked me was just something about how she handled Moore and her trauma irked the fuck out of me. Moore has been the most abused by the writer, is what I mean. The most abused character between ACOWTF and fuckery, whatever. The most abused, like, and I just like, that's my hashtag for this year is More Deserves Better 2018. That's the thing. I'm about to start using it. Fuck with it, whatever. Reason being, something about how she handled Moore's trauma, because the first chapter we get from Moore's point of view goes to like Moore having to deal with her father and Lucian's brother, start with E, whatever, Firecrash, who cares, deals with like having to deal with them. And she immediately goes to this place where she's just like having flashbacks all the time, and she's just not there, she's not present, and she's like fucking terrified and just thinking about what happened, which is not that she's thinking about it, but that she actually like outwardly presents as like being frozen up and unable to say a thing, is taking a step backward, because every other time that we've seen her from Favor's point of view interacting, she's been very on top of it, like, I will fuck you up type, I'm not scared of you, like, I'm not saying you can't be traumatized, but she just drew her back to like it almost seemed like she hadn't seen them or dealt with them at all in the 500 years since this happened to her, and she's automatically just like, she's now coming face to face with it after all this time. So that was weird, and you brought her backwards from this badass female that you introduced us to in ACOWTF, like this take no shit, I'm not scared of you no matter what you did, I will kill you, break your limbs, whatever, don't care how you related to me. Like, you backtracked from all of that. Not only that, but then the way that she went across it and making this very clear distinction that it wasn't happening to her as a person, but it was happening to her as a female, and persevering on the fact that it was males that did this to her, and steady focusing on the fact that by doing what she did, she took away her value, her worth as a female. Like, she kind of made that assumption, or she made that impression or implication that Moore was scared of them, not because she's a person that was assaulted or beat up, but that because she was a female assaulted by a male, and it made the impression that she's lesbian or bisexual. Is she bisexual or is she lesbian? Whatever, that she's into females because it was a male that brutalized her. I don't like that implication. I don't like it at all. If you're into females, be into females. I don't care. But it's like, it's a stereotype that already like lesbian and bisexual females face anyway, that, oh, you're just into women because a man hurt you. I don't like that. I don't. My opinion. Don't like it. Tough titty. But it backtracked from the badass, like the heroine that the take no shit female that you introduced us to, and you just completely erased all the other interactions that we saw when her just being like, I ain't afraid of you, her doing whatever, and thinking about it later to like immediately like just rabbit, shut down. I got nothing. That was annoying. I didn't like that. And that's what that whole chapter was about, and it just perseverated on it. Not only on her trauma, but then when she then thought about Favor's trauma, she also referred to it as, I thought of another female, like, not if I thought of Favor being hurt or whatever, but it was another woman hurt by a man that made me like mad in that moment too. So it very like fed into like that angry lesbian stereotype, and I hate that. I don't like that at all. I really don't like it, especially because like the next time she interacts with Favor's like, hey, you know, or the time before that, whatever, immediately before or after, I forget, when Favor's interacting with her, it's just like, hey, you been to Rita's yet? You found a girlfriend, blah, 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 like, I'm reminding you, like, remember she likes girls, and then we immediately go into, these males have brutalized her. So it makes that linear, like, transition, and it draws that implication, and I don't fucking like it. I don't. Especially because we've already witnessed on several occasions her giving the verbal smackdown to both of them and giving no shits. So it just, I will say though, the best part about this book, the literal best part, this is slightly spoilery, so I will put my glass down or move it away from my mouth when the spoiler's over, so you can mute me and you can't read my lips, whatever. The literal best part in this entire fucking book is when Amren, who is apparently in this, I somehow missed this in the last book, that when she came back, she like didn't have all her powers, I don't remember, whatever, but she's basically Fae now instead of like that other thing that she was. All of her scary ass powers are gone, and everybody just scared of her because she's a bitch instead. But at any rate, she's in this new body and she's having to eat food. And the literal best moment in this book is her admitting that she's discovering that eating food means she gotta shit and she don't like it. Bitch, I hollered. Oh my fucking god, I died laughing. That is my favorite moment in the entire book. Now, tell me what that say about this book. Don't worry, I'll wait. On to Feyre. Feyre is the most self-deprecating, self-flagellating, like, oh my god, oh, I don't deserve joy face ass bitch. Like, shit. Damn, son, like, I really want to buy this thing for me, but I don't really deserve it because of all the other things that happen, and little children in this third world country don't have food today, so I shouldn't eat this Big Mac, old face ass. Like, stop, where is your chill, bitch? Come on. Don't laugh and drink whiskey, it don't go well. Don't feel good. But bruh, that shit was irritating. She was irritated as fuck. She acted like she started the fucking war. Like, she just carried all this guilt. And I'm like, did you go smack Hybern in the face? Did you go piss on his lawn? Did you shit in his grass? Did you, like, kill his dog? Like, what? You didn't do nothing. Like, chill the fuck out. God damn. Every single time somebody mentioned, like, a person who didn't come back from the war, or that there were people who didn't come back from the war, she felt so guilt. The whole fucking inner circle just carried this guilt, completely forgetting that they were detrimental to stopping the fucking war. They all act like they went to a fucking Hybern and bitch slapped his mama and cussed him out and talked bad about his dead grandma twice removed, or what the fuck ever, and they just feel horrible. Just like, simmer down now. Damn. And it was especially irritating when it came to the Illyrians. My camera died again because I was too impatient to let it charge decently. And I had finished off the rest of my wine glass full of whiskey and poured another one. You're welcome again. This shit might get interesting. What was I bitching about this time? Oh. So this self-flagellation thing that the whole inner circle has going on. I'm impressed I can still use that word after this much whiskey. What's irritating about that, especially when it comes to the Illyrians, is that you've built up the Illyrians to the point where Illyrians is synonymous with warrior. It's almost like they're Spartans, but then the Spartan warriors come home, or their wives don't, or they don't come home rather, and their wives are like, it sucks, but I understand he did a good thing. This is what, our people do. They're like battle-born, battle-bred. They're warriors. They're just, But meanwhile, like, all the Illyrians and their family salty as fuck. Like, so-and-so lost their hand in the war. Fucking bitch. Like, but you can't, it's not that they don't deserve to be upset because their loved ones didn't come home, but after you've built them up to be like Spartans, but then you made them super salty because they did what they're supposed to do as warriors, it's like, neither the two shall meet. The shit don't go. It don't fit. The puzzle pieces are no. Considering though how much you mention the Illyrians and their pride in their culture, but then you salty because they do what you said they were like basically born and trained their whole lives to do. Even more irritating when Feyre specifically was faced with a person who lost their loved one after they had been together for 200 years. Her first thought, for all the self-flagellation she has and all the throw myself on the fucking cross, this throw myself on the sword, this is my cross to bear type, wow, I've been listening to for 3 motherfucking books and more already. When she's actually like interacted with another person that has had to deal with this shit, her first thought isn't like for them, just like, oh, I'm sorry for them, like this is my fault, blah 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 blah, even though like that's her thought with literally everything else. She literally goes, oh my god, that could have been me, oh fuck, and then she made a decision that she consciously said she was not going to previously, and that's all I'm gonna say on that. Other thing she mentioned, consciously, that's not the word, constantly. Another thing she mentioned constantly is how much money they have. Like from page 1, our coffers are full of this and that and the other. Like we have coffers, but we have intersections, and those go together. Our coffers are full, blah blah blah. I've never had this from him. It's his money, but it's my money. It's weird. I'm not used to it. I mean, I really could buy this. I could buy it 1,000 times over, but I still feel like it's wasteful. Like she constantly was either mentioning that she was hot lady, or how much money they had, or that she was hot lady and had a lot of money. Like, bitch. What Joey used to say, cut it out. Don't do that shit. It's annoying. And then, back to like the modernization thing from the last book, from the second book with ACOWTF, and the fucking Campbell soup, and the stove, and the toilets when you was just shitting in the woods. Now we're back to having sweaters again. So it's like, this is one, like I said, with the sweaters and the leggings, and then they have a shearling line boots or shit, whatever. Like, fucking Uggs. They're wearing sweaters and leggings and Uggs. What? Do me a favor and just give a bitch a pumpkin spice latte and be fucking done with it. Go with this sweater bullshit again. So, again, favorite parts of this book. Good parts. You notice I closed my laptop because I needed my notes for all the shitty parts, so it just drove me crazy. Favorite parts of the book. Farrah and Reese's interactions together, like they're flirting. The smut was awkward, like sex on the beach and setting palm trees on fire type, laughable and awkward. The other stuff, like leading up to and after the interactions together, were really sweet. Like they're flirting, not like there's this one point like they get really corny. They get really corny. However, the best part about them is like when they use their powers to flirt, like in ACOWTF where he sent her an image of her in the shop or whatever, and she was so distracted that she walked into the wall or the pillar or the pole or what the fuck ever, and they have those interactions where they're like flirting with each other like telekinetically. That was really cute and I liked it. I lived for that. The rest of it was fucking weird. This book is somewhere between YA and why is my child reading this? Just saying. I think I wouldn't be so grumpy if you gave me more smut. Like, don't just, like, there was a lot of build up. And then once the smut got here, I was just like, granted, I'm grown, about to be 30, so that's a thing. But you built that shit up for a long time, bitch. Long time. They were apart more in this book than they were when Farrah was in the spring court plotting. When Farrah was in the spring court plotting Tamlin's downfall. They weren't apart but like a chapter in that motherfucker. And I was just like, I mean, I'm glad they're together, but that's not what I was really like. I didn't get no build up. And then they meeting after they were apart for so long, was just like, I mean, I miss you, but I miss your penis more. Like, they were together. I mean, they were apart more in this book than that. I mean, those are just my racy ass thoughts made worse by the amount of liquor that I have imbibed once again. You're very welcome. I know the stands are probably going to come from him. I hope I do not lose subscribers, but y'all are used to me not liking popular shit by now. I would hope you stay, because I'm just being honest. This is what I felt. This is my least favorite out of all the books. But to be fair to her, she did say she wrote this book as like a fan fiction for herself. And she also said that it was kind of like an interlude between the two, but it literally reads like an actionless interlude, which is fine, but I was bored. And like, interlude was way too accurate of a description for me. It was literally that. And I guess it's my fault. I should have took her at a word. It was literal interlude. Like, it was the definition of like in between. It was middle as fuck. Like, it was a middle length, weird length book. It was midway between good and what the fuck did I just purchase? Because like, I don't do all these thrift store book hauls because they fun to me. Okay, because I like the hunt. While thrifting is fun, I do it because I'm broke. Like, if I buy food and don't like it, I eat it anyway, because we can't waste no money around this motherfucker. Like, I really hate to pay full length for a book, and I'm just like, when it's over. And that's just the epitome of my description of this book is pretty face, isn't it? So, that's, I mean, And yes, I know a lot of her stands go, she got pregnant and her dad got sick and blah, 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 blah. I am not in the least of it discrediting as someone who has lost multiple pregnancies. I know how hard a pregnancy is on you. I know how hard a toll it takes on your body. I know how hard it is as a nurse who worked hospice and as a nurse who has recently had family members pass away. How hard it is to deal with a sick or ailing or dying family member. But as a person, if I was to describe myself as a fan, I would say, like, as a fan of something, I would understand if you need, I would rather you postpone a thing and get yourself together and write it when you were okay here and here than to feed me a face full of fuckery that I have paid money for, and I would rather have just waited and not been feeling like this post mid after not novella length whatever the fuck I just read. So that is just my opinion. Take it for what it is. I hope I don't lose any of you because I actually love you all. You're fucking wonderful. But I know Sarah J Maas's fans are like Beyonce level standing people. They will get you together real quick. Bitch, try it. Give me your opinion. Don't come for me though, because I fight back. Just saying. So that's it on that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you sitting through my rambles, but the review was all over the place because I wrote it in the order, like as I was reading it. I literally had a window open and was writing it, so it's all over the place because the book is all over the place. That's what you get. Love you bunches. Thanks for watching. Bye.